Freddie, in terms of one of the things you have been saying that you need to catch up to, and that's new terminology with Haley. How's it going, and what's it look like for the opener?
It's been going good. I think we've been progressing in that area, getting comfortable with one another. Uh, and like I said, it's going well. Just got to continue to keep pushing the unit and getting better each day.
This will probably be your last action of the preseason, I'd assume. Do you feel like anything personally you need to accomplish to get yourself in the right kind of frame of mind going into the regular season?
Just continue to keep improving. Like I said, I think the first two games, of course, it was two different emphasis in those games, but it was good football being played. But still clean up in some areas. I know what those areas are, as well as the team know what we need to clean up. So our focus this week is to go out there and execute in all phases and take away some of our minus play yards.
How will you get the chemistry that you need with Josh Gordon, since you guys really haven't had an opportunity to work all training camp?
Yeah, just continue to keep talking through things, meeting, doing walkthroughs or doing practice, just making sure that he's seeing some of the same things that we're seeing from the quarterback perspective. But he's engaged, and he's ready to get back out there, and we're looking forward to having him out there on the field.
Do you think that you guys will be able to take some time after practices and the two of you kind of work together off the side a little bit?
I'm not sure what he can do right now. Of course, after this preseason game, hopefully we've found out more. But of course, being able to spend time after practice and getting ready for the opener, if that's a scenario that plays out for us, then that would be awesome.
Assuming you saw the Super Bowl, are you using what you watched that day early this year in terms of preparing for them, kind of remembering what you saw that made them a Super Bowl team, and kind of figuring out how you're going to approach a little bit of Thursday?
I've watched a couple games. I'm more so focused on the past preseason games that they played. Pittsburgh, for sure, being that they run some of the similar concepts that we run. But we've watched some games from last year, New England from last year, as well as the preseason, and a couple other games as well, too. So I think throughout your cut-ups and just throughout your film study, of course those plays come out, but I don't specifically watch just the Super Bowl. You try to find out what teams schematically matches up with yours and some of the schemes that you can benefit from as far as studying.
They gave up a ton of yards in the Super Bowl game against New England. Of course, they were good enough to get to the Super Bowl with that defense. How do you explain that they had a Super Bowl defense?
We're getting ready for
a ton of yards.
Yeah, we're getting ready for our third preseason game. I mean, as far as going back to the Super Bowl, as far as explaining it, there's a number of factors that play into that. But it really boils down to us and going out there and executing in our run game, staying true to our assignments, and executing the ball in the pass, throwing in the passing game.
What kind of a test or barometer will this game be for you guys, considering this is your dress rehearsal, this is, you're going against the defending champions. What do you hope to be able to take away from Thursday night's game?
Progress in all three phases. Like I said, each group can be better. We've done some things that are good in the past two preseason games, but definitely some areas that we can clean up. And that's what we aim to do, clean up those areas and take the next step and as far as a team to get ready for week one.
What does it say to the rest of the offense when you have a guy like Landry, the willingness to block, to maybe extend a 5-yard run into a 10-yard run or a simple run into a touchdown? Because as the game has gone on, receivers are more and more known for catching the ball. But when he has a big hit the other night, and just the willingness of a blocker, what does it do for the rest of the offense?
It's an attitude, and it also shows how unselfish he is and how unselfish our receivers are. For those guys to be able or to be willing to put their bodies on the line and go out and block and open up lanes on the outside for the running backs. It's a team effort, and it takes all of us, as well as myself getting guys getting the offense into the right run, as well as us counting on the receivers to go out there and hold their blocks on the end. It's an attitude across the board, and we have to have that every play.
How good can this offense be with you and Jarvis Landry, Gordon, and Joku and Hyde and everybody?
It could be very good. It's a bunch of talent that you just named. But but it boils down each week to execution and us going out there and winning our one-on-one matchups, of course, on the outside, with me getting the ball to those guys and just execution across the board.
Tyrod, there's been a lot of receiver topsy-turvy sort of drama going on this training camp and this preseason. You know, one minute you look out there and you've got, you know, Corey Coleman and he's gone. Antonio Callaway, Des Bryant here and that. Josh, so for you, trying to prepare for your first game against the Steelers, how is that going for you?
I kind of dealt with that last year. It's not something that you want to go through, but at the same time, it's the nature of the business. So you understand that things happen. That's why we always say next guy up or next man up mentality. And I think guys have stepped up to the opportunity and went out there and competed, and they're still doing it. As we wrap up camp today, guys have competed, and that's the main thing that I've seen each and every day. Through the grind of camp, guys have went out and put their best foot forward amongst all the circumstances and went out there and competed. So more so proud of those guys that are doing that. We just have to continue to keep progressing in the football games.
Last year you were with a team that was able to kind of wipe away part of its past. Have you seen this team making some of the same steps that you took with Buffalo last year to kind of forget about what happened?
Yes, I've seen those steps, but it's also still early. The true test is once week one starts. Of course, right now we're molding and shaping a team to be able to go out there this year and do those things that you speak about. But I think this team is headed in the right direction for sure. The attitude is right. The energy is right in the locker room. We just have to remain focused throughout a full season and be able to withstand the ups and downs of the season.
I was just curious. I know some people that get here very early in the morning, and they say you beat them all the time. What is that morning workout or ritual like for you? Can you tell us what you do?
It's different. Not to get too personal. It's different on the workout side. I like to clear my mind, listening to some devotionals in the morning, but it's different. I've always been a morning person. My routine, of course, like I said, the workout is different, but the routine is what it's been for a couple of years now. So it's something that I'm used to. I'm not in competition trying to beat someone up here. It's just something that I've grown accustomed to over the years.
So what time do you get here?
You want to turn on the Hard Knocks cameras and find out.
So what time do you go to bed?
I get enough rest.
Is it a different mindset? I mean, there's been obviously comparisons because of what you guys did last year with the Bills. But when the season started last year, in this training camp, there were a lot of people that thought, like from the outside, that the team was tanking because of some of the moves that they made in the offseason. How did you guys, were you able to kind of keep all that noise to the outside?
You're speaking in
last year,
Buffalo.
I mean, because there was feeling that the Bills were tanking.
Yeah, I think internally we knew what we had in the team. We played for one another. Of course, a lot of things that were going on that were outside of the players' control. But as players, we're the ones that control our execution week in and week out, and that's what we focused on. And I think as a team grew, each game they learned we could be a special team. It wasn't a perfect season, but it was something that we came together to a point that I hadn't seen the previous years that I was there. So we never really listened to the outside noise. I think a team that's successful, or not I know a team that's successful is able to stay focused and keep their mind focused on the goal.
Was that leadership?
Yes, it was definitely leadership from coaches and players. Of course, players, because we're the ones that are going out there and playing. So that's a big role in it, and that's what we're trying to do here. Different leaders have done a good job of stepping up and holding each other accountable and just trying to show some of the younger guys the ropes and let them know that it's a week to week. You can't necessarily let the outside noise affect you. You have to remain focused because, like I said, it's a bunch of ups and downs in the season, and the team that can stay focused throughout all that comes out successful in the end.
Have you had a chance to spend a lot of time with Josh, not on the field, but off the field since he's been back? And can you tell kind of his excitement level or what his thoughts are? We haven't gotten a chance to talk to him yet, so after all this time away.
He's definitely excited. Of course, spending time away, he wants to be with the team, but he had to do what was best for him. He's ready to get back on the field, and we're ready to see him out there on the field. We know what type of playmaker he is, the things he's done while he's played has been phenomenal. So looking forward to get that type of talent back on the field.
Were you able to develop a relationship with him in the June and April, May, and June?
Yeah, I've known Josh for a while now, but on the football field, definitely was able to build some chemistry with him. Even just talking to him throughout our time away was definitely key to keep him locked in and get him ready for a big season.
What kind of tandem do you think he and Jarvis could make?
Say that again.
What kind of tandem do you think Gordon and Jarvis could make?
I think it'd be very special. Two different skill sets, but very talented at what they do. Josh is one of the faster guys in the league and one of the bigger receivers in the league. So he's definitely a very talented receiver. You don't really run across guys like that often on teams. And, of course, Jarvis, you've seen him day in and day out, how he competes and what he brings to the table. So looking forward to having those guys on the field together. It puts defenses in a bind for sure.
We've seen a little bit of a different side of Todd Haley on Hard Knocks. You've been around him all spring.
Which side have you seen?
Just kind of funny Todd Haley. I mean, we see him drive you guys out here all the time in practice, but we've gotten to see some other stuff too. I mean, have you learned anything about him in your however many months here now?
I've learned a lot about him. I mean, I really didn't know much of him when we first met. We knew of each other, but hadn't spent much time around each other. So he's very smart for sure, and I've been taking in all the information I can from him and just continue to keep learning from him. Some of the things he's done in the past, what I could do to take my game to the next level and help this offense take our game to the next level as well.
Will you continue to lobby for, or maybe put your 2 cents in for them to still kind of keep Dez as a possibility?
I've said from day one, I'm all behind management and personnel, whoever makes those decisions. Of course, I would love to have him here, but if they see fit for him to come here, then I'm all behind it. But I'm confident with those guys that we have in our receiver room as well as on the team. Of course, he just adds to that. So it would be awesome to have him here, but the guys that we have here now are doing a phenomenal job and competing each and every day, and that's what I like to see out of those guys.